Go ahead.
Welcome to another Tech Talk. My name is Željko Filipin. I work for Media Foundation in release engineering team, and we will be talking about Selenium tests in Node.js today. So I'll share my screen and we can start. Okay. So for about 5 years, we've had Selenium tests in Ruby. But from this year, we also have Selenium tests in Node.js. We have actually just deprecated Ruby framework, so everything going forward will be in Node. It is all documented on MediaWiki.org, so please take a look. This is the documentation for Node.js framework, and there's a lot of it. I think it's pretty well documented, but I'm subjective because I wrote most of it. What we will be talking about today is writing tests, and that's this link here. So there's some slight difference between writing a Selenium test for a core and extension, and since core already has some tests, we'll be writing a test for extension. I already recorded a shorter version of this talk, and it's available here, so feel free to take a look. There's also code examples from repositories that already have tests merged in. So there's plenty of code, I think, available. We will go through this example a bit slower today, and Rachel will be looking for questions on IRC. Well, so we will implement a simple test for math extension. I have set up my local MediaWiki vagrant, so math is provisioned. And what we'll do is create a page with a random name and enter a simple math formula into it. So for example, like this. I'll be super simple, just let's say 1 + 1. And we'll save the page. And the only thing that we'll check is that this formula was actually rendered as an image. And here it is. It's an image with this class, and we'll use this class name to check that the image is actually on the page. Let's start. So I'll create the file. Let's start writing code. This is text, so it's readable. Test Selenium specs math. So the file is empty at the moment, so let's start. So we'll first say we'll use strict. And we are using a Mocha testing framework, so we'll set it up. So Mocha has this describe and it functions. So this describe function will be like a suite. So describe math. And there'll be a test. There'll be just one for this example. So a test is an it function in Mocha. So the test will just check if math works for the simple addition. So we'll call it, so math should work for addition. And let's write the test. So if you remember from the example that I just did, we have created a simple page, random simple page, right? So let's the easiest way to get a random string in JavaScript is just to use method random to string. So let's do that. And creating a page is several steps. So it'll be opening the page, clicking Edit button, entering some text, and then clicking Save button. Luckily, it's already done. Like we already have the code for that in MediaWiki core, so we can reuse that. So let me quickly show you. So this is how to use it, right? So edit page, edit, and you provide name and content. And this is the implementation. This is the edit page, and this is the edit function, right? So it takes name and content, then opens it for editing. It's implemented here. There's a content and save elements, and they're defined here. Right? So, but we don't need to worry about those details at the moment. The important thing is that we can reuse that functionality in an extension. So let's do it. So we can say edit page and provide name and content. So page, we have just defined the line above, and the content will be a simple formal like we did 1 + 1. And I forgot to define the edit page up here. So let's do that right now. We can't use it before we find it. And it's a really long string, so I'll copy paste it. This. It's how to require a page from MediaWiki core if you are in an extension. Okay, so let's try running that. So also, to run all the tests, we can just run npm run Selenium from MediaWiki core folder. But since we just want to run, this will run both core and extension tests. But since we just want to run this one, a simple way is just to start Chrome driver in a separate tab, and then just run this one test. So let's do that. So we can start Chrome driver here, and from MediaWiki core, we can just run this one test. See the Chrome opening and random page, entering text, saving, and passing. Okay, so the test passes because it actually doesn't have any assertions yet, so Mocha can't really fail on anything, right? So we can check if we actually created a page. So let's reload. And this is the page we just created, and we can see the formulas here, and it is an image. Okay, so let's continue. So the next thing is an assertion, right? So like the test is not really useful if it doesn't run any assertions, and we can use built-in assertions from assertion library from Node.js. Right? So let's see, but the assert is require assert. And let's do an assertion. So I didn't spend much time on page objects yet. I'll just assume that people know the basics of it. It's a simple pattern, and it's used in Selenium test a lot and in our implementation. So let's create, let's assume that there is a new page object called math page. We'll define it later, and that it has this, well, what we need actually, right? So we need a page that has this element on it, right? So let's say that there's a page with an image, and we are checking if it exists. Now this will fail because the math page is not defined. So let's define that. And we'll put it in the page objects folder. In the extension. If I forgot something. Oh well, I actually forgot to create a page. So let's do that. No. Yeah, it's empty for the moment. So let's define it. First, we'll just say to strict, and we need to provide path to the base page object that's located in MediaWiki core. And it is also a really long string, so I'll copy paste it. And let's define the page with this one element. And so let's say the class not page extends page. For that, I'll export it immediately. Again, now let's define the element. So it'll just have one element called image. And it will actually just return this browser element. And a browser element will just be a CSS selector, and it'll be this class. I've closed the page again. So we'll find the element by its class, right? So there it is. I think that's actually all. Let's take a quick look at the other page. So before we run this, let's just invert the assertion. Let's just add the spank here. So it fails. I never trusted test and didn't see fail first. So let's run that. So this now should fail, saying that false is not equal to true. So I didn't mess up anything. I can make it bigger. Yeah, so the assertion failed saying false equals true because we've on purpose broke this assertion, so let's fix it. Let's rerun it. It should be all green now. I can see it running in the background. And it's all green. So at this point, we can create a commit, push it to Garrett, get it reviewed and merged, or write more tests. That's all I had for today. The rest is documented on MediaWiki.org. There's also a section on how to get help if you have any questions. If you have any questions, and if there are any people online with questions, I can answer them now. Or you can use MediaWiki Erlang RC channel. There's a fabricator. You can use browser tests or browser test infrastructure. There's also QA mailing list. Rachel, are there any questions?
Not yet.
All right. So should we just end for now, or should we wait?
Sure. Let me ask one more time. If you have anything to say about how people can find more information about this, maybe do that now, and I'll ask on IRC.
I'm just trying to stop the screen share. Okay. That's it. Oh, well. The best places to go is the landing page on MediaWiki.org. Just go to MediaWiki.org/wiki/Selenium, and see all the getting help is documented there.
Okay, it looks like we have no questions, so thank you so much, Željko. Oh wait. It looks like somebody's going to follow up with you with questions later. So thanks again, Željko. We'll talk soon, and I'm stopping the broadcast.